Welcome back to my room, everyone. That's right, we are in my bedroom. We always have been, and we probably will be for a pretty long time. So today I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about diets, different kinds of diets that I personally have experience with. I just kind of want to give you guys a good explanation of what they really are, so that you can make a good decision about which one to use, if any. And I also want to give you my thoughts on what I think is the best diet for all of us. Number one. So the first diet I wanted to go ahead and start off with was vegetarianism. So vegetarianism is eating plant-based foods along with dairy products and eggs. And a lot of people sometimes get that confused with veganism, which is different, which is just strictly no animal products whatsoever. We're talking with the vegan diet, not the vegan lifestyle, but the vegan diet. No butter, no milk, no eggs, no cheese, no anything like that. And I have tried vegetarianism. I personally have not tried veganism before. I do know people that have, and they love the way they feel on the diet, but they do recognize that it sometimes can be kind of restricting. And I think that just kind of makes it difficult sometimes. As for vegetarianism, I personally enjoyed it. I tried it out, and I felt good while I was doing it. But for me, it was just too restrictive. I personally like to eat meat, and that's not going anywhere. So the next diet that I wanted to cover with you guys was the paleo diet. So the paleo diet is eating more like our Paleolithic ancestors. So that's going to be eating more meat, eating leafy green vegetables, fruits, seeds, nuts, and then what you're not going to be eating is pretty much anything processed, grains, dairy, and pretty much any sugary stuff. And so some caveats with paleo is that the meats either have to be lean meats or grass-fed, whole grain, like organic meats, because from what I've read, it's supposed to be because the meats themselves have, if they're grass-fed, they have more omega-3 fats, but if they are not, then the fats are a lot worse for you, according to the people that live that lifestyle and that pretty much eat paleo all the time. I don't have that much experience with it, so I can't say for certain. The next diet that I wanted to go ahead and cover with you guys is the ketogenic diet. So this is one that I actually do have a lot more experience with. I honestly think it's something that some people should do, but a majority of the people might not want to do just because it's so restrictive with regards to carbohydrates. So the ketogenic diet is pretty much just you putting yourself in a state of ketosis, which means that instead of burning through glucose, which is what your body's normal energy is, you instead revert to burning ketones, which is fat-based. I don't want to get into all the science of it, mainly because I don't know all of it, and also because it would probably be really boring. But the idea pretty much to get into ketosis is that you should be eating anywhere from 5 to 10% of your total daily calories should come from carbs, which generally looks, for most people, about 20 to 60 grams of carbs per day, which is obviously not a lot. If you think about it, like a big banana that we normally eat here in the U.S. Is going to be about 27 grams of carbs in that one banana. So if you're eating, 50 grams of carbs a day, you have 2 bananas, you're done for the day. And the rest of your diet is going to come from protein and fat. Now the quantity of protein to the ratio of protein to fat, got it, is going to differ depending on the person, but generally you're going to see, ooh, that was a squeak. Generally, you're going to see like 75% fat. 75% of your daily calorie intake is going to come from fat. From there to about 60%, and then everything else is going to be made up of protein. And so this is, like I said, this is something I have done. It definitely worked for me. I was able to lose about 40 pounds with it at a pretty quick pace. But at the same time, it's also very restrictive, and it's not something I personally would do for the long term. By that, I mean I wouldn't do it for like 6 months or a year, something like that. Now, there is a different version called cyclic ketosis, where you pretty much you stay in ketosis for 5-6 days, and then you go out of ketosis for one day where you try and eat carbs and that kind of stuff. I tried that one too, but my trouble with it was that whenever I would try to eat carbs, instead of eating like potatoes and rice and oatmeal and that kind of stuff, I would be like, I'm gonna eat some donuts, I'm gonna have some pizza. I would just start shoveling in junk. And so I didn't think it was very conducive toward a healthy relationship with food. That's why I kind of stopped using it in the past. But like I said, for many people, it might be very, very useful. All right, so the last diet that I wanted to go over with you guys is IFYM, if it fits your macros, or flexible dieting. And this is something that's been around for a long time, which is pretty much trying to fit food into your macronutrient goals. So say you have a goal to eat 200 grams of protein, 250 grams of carbs, and 75 grams of fat. I'm just throwing those numbers out there. No one take those seriously, please. You would eat pretty much whatever you want to fit those three slots, pretty much. So if that means you can eat Krispy Kreme donuts to hit your fat and your carb goals, then that's fine. And I have the only issues that I really have with this kind of eating is that, one, people get ridiculous with it and they start downing like Captain Crunch and stuff instead of focusing on getting healthy amounts of micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, water, that kind of stuff. They just start to shove junk into their face as long as it hits their macronutrient goals. And it'll work, but you'll feel terrible while you're doing it. So I honestly, if you're willing to eat a healthy, normal diet, make sure you're getting whole grains, make sure you're getting fruits, vegetables, and then maybe throw in some ice cream now and then, or throw in a few slices of pizza to allow you to be more flexible, then I think it's perfectly fine. I personally have always had difficulty with this because it's very hard for me to moderate, like only have a little bit of something, or only like you get like 2 scoops of ice cream. Normally I'm just like, give me the whole freaking thing of ice cream. And so it's something that I'm still trying to learn how to do correctly. I'm currently not doing a flexible dieting approach. I'm not doing if it fits your macros, but I'm still trying to learn how to moderate. So now that I've covered all of the diets that I wanted to talk to you guys about, I just wanted to let you know that I do not think that there is a best one or an optimal one for everyone. I think that you should use them according to the goals that you're going to have, at certain times. And even then, you might just want to mix and mingle and figure out what's best for you. That's what I'm doing. I'm not really doing any one particular diet right now. I'm just kind of trying to cut out processed grains from my diet, because that is a weak spot for me. I could eat like a whole loaf of bread and just be happy as a clam. I don't know why that's a saying. Are clams super happy? Anyway, I think that we should really just try to kind of look at where we are, what we can afford, what types of people we are, because for me myself, it's difficult for me to eat like in moderation certain things. So I'm not going to be okay with like having a little bit of chocolate or ice cream every day. If I'm going to eat some, I'm going to have a decent amount, and then I'm going to be done. And so for that reason, and also because tracking stuff kind of makes me go crazy. It makes my mind just like, I get super anal and I turn into a tracking Nazi, and it's not good for my mind and the relationship that I have with food. So for that reason, I don't normally use flexible dieting. I don't use it well, and instead I'm just trying to cut out entirely foods that I think are kind of trigger foods for me. And so far it's working, and I'm glad that it's working. And I want you guys to really just look at your lives, look at how you react to food when you're around it, and what your problems are, and then kind of cut out what you need to, or maybe if you're a person that moderates more, like my wife, she can have like cookies in the room for 2 weeks and eat one at a time and it not bother her. So for her, maybe flexible dieting would be something that's much more efficient. For other people that love meat but don't really care for carbs that much, maybe a ketogenic or paleo diet might be better. For certain people like my mom or my sister who don't eat almost any meat or are okay with not eating any meat, veganism, vegetarianism could be something that they could look into. So just look at who you are as a person, the problems that you have with eating, and personalize something to you. You don't have to use one of these cookie cutter diets that everyone says, this one worked perfectly for me, it'll work perfectly for you. Go out there and find something that works for you, and even if that means starting out with just cutting out soda or taking it extremely slowly, that's perfectly fine, because you're moving at a pace that is working for you. The next video that I make is going to be something that I think is probably one of the most important aspects of fitness. Not that dieting isn't important, but this is like outside of food, outside of exercise, what I think is going to be something that's extremely important for you guys, and that's been very important for me recently. So prepare for that. I will have it ready for you in a few days. Also, if you liked this video, then like it, click the button down there. Comment with any questions that you might have or any videos that you guys might want to have in the future. Subscribe to the dang channel because I said so, and I'm a father, so I have some power, right? And on top of that, I just started up a DadBod Instagram. It's dadbod_18. Numbers, those are the numbers, 18. So dadbod_18, and you can follow me there. I'll be posting lovely things about me working out with my delicious baby. She's super duper cute, and I'm sure you want to see her. Thanks, guys. Peace.